Well, good morning, YouTube. All right, guys, today we're back over at the shop. Yeah, it's been a while since we've been here because of the whole cruise thing and everything, but yeah, we're back here now. And the last time we did a video here in the shop, we had all of these items that were in boxes still that needed to be hung up on the pegboard. Got some more pegboard right over there. And I didn't have enough pegs to do it. Well, like the next day after we filmed that video, I went out and I bought more hangers and pegs and all kinds of stuff here from Lowe's. I just haven't had time to come back and hang it all up, you know. At that point, we went to go do the trip to Marlborough, Massachusetts, came back, we built the deck, then we went on a cruise. And well, I want to get this done because I want this stuff off the floor. I need to get this area finished, cleared out. This is pretty much just a pile of scrap or garbage that we're going to get rid of, because Talon and I have another project we're going to work on tomorrow, and that is to finally move 2 of the cars that are at the house that we don't want at the house. We want them here. They're going to go in this section. So kind of want this stuff cleaned up, get rid of this garbage. Don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, so that we can make progress on that. And to top it all off, as you can see, I got some new spectacles today, and they're really messing with my eyes at the moment. Progressive bifocal, so you don't really see the line. And I have a feeling that maybe their measurements were wrong, because when I look straight through like I should, things are blurry. I gotta lean my head down and look out through the top. Everything's crystal clear. So the prescription's right. Not sure that they're fitting on my head properly. It's messing with me a little bit, but we're gonna get through it. All right, so as I open up the package, I have 4 of these brackets, which I think are really designed to hold the shelf, which you don't really need. Got 4 of these, 4 of these that have 2. There's quite a handful of these little J hooks in 2 different sizes, and then more of like an L style hook. Plus there's a bunch of these and these, and I'll be honest, I have no idea what those are for. And some screws. I didn't need screws. And luckily, all of those small pieces weren't counted in the how many pieces were in the kit. It says there's 20 pieces in each kit. There's 2 kits. I actually have 40 hangers. All that other stuff was extra. What's weird is it's not even showing as being included in the kit, so I have no idea what they're for. All right, well, I've made some progress. I got a few things hanging up. You know, a lot of these tools are things that I don't really use on a regular basis, but like when you need them, you got to have them. And they don't really fit neatly into a toolbox. So like my piston ring filer, it's just kind of an awkward thing. So I hang it here in a hook. Got lifting plates and a crank adapter for small block Chevy, ring compressors, valve spring compressor tool, you know, hones, 3 jaw pullers, just weird stuff. And down here, some motorcycle things, fork cap tools, a steering head bearing race remover, just fork alignment tools, just weird things that we don't really use that often. But like to put this in a toolbox, it would just have to kind of go into like a junk drawer or something, and then it's impossible to find. At least this way, it's somewhat laid out. I still got quite a few hooks left. Now, as I was unloading the boxes, I found more hooks, and I've still got a lot of this stuff here that needs to be dealt with. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do some of it. Now, one of the things I do a lot is I use ice cube trays to organize things, especially when I'm rebuilding carburetors, especially the old inline 4 cylinders. We got you got 4 main jets and 4 idle jets and 4 float valves, so on and so forth. I like to sort all that stuff out. And I had a few things that were taken apart sorted here, and I don't remember whether they're any good or not, but the way the boys packed when we moved, they just kind of threw everything in a box. And a lot of the little parts and pieces that were in different trays are all now mixed together in one. And truth is, I think it's probably things we don't really need right now, because this stuff hasn't been used in a while. So I think I'm just going to all throw it in one bin, keep it with all the little carburetor parts. And if for some reason something comes up, I need to find a specific size jet, well, I've got bunches of stuff like that. All right, guys, so this is the mess that we're dealing with today. As you can see, there's really not much more room left in this garage between all the motorcycles and the cars. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 motorcycles, 2 four-wheelers, a Z28, and a Monte Carlo. Just too much stuff in here. This is one of the problems we've got going on here is, yeah, we're the typical redneck out in the country family. We collect a bunch of crap. Some of the stuff has sentimental meaning, some of it doesn't. But the problem is we have so much of it that there's no room to work on it. And for those of you who've been following along for a while, you know that that's why we've been trying to move everything over to that other shop and have a place to actually work on some of these projects. And unfortunately, that's not all. We have other projects, other places. So here in the backyard, I've got my Bronco. Over there, we've got the International. We got Talon's Caprice. And then inside this storage building, I've got even more motorcycles and projects in here. And you guys remember when we moved all of my junk basically out of Michaela's house, there's still a couple of motorcycles over in that garage that I need to get out of her way. So the goal for today is to get the Camaro and the Monte Carlo out of here. Everything else is going to stay, but the Camaro and the Monte Carlo are going to go over to the shop. That way we can organize this garage to fit the rest of the motorcycles, get them all in one place, and just have them staged here until it's time to do the projects. I don't want to move everything over to the shop because then that shop will get cluttered and we won't be able to work on anything. So the goal is to get all these out. The motorcycles that need to be worked on, we'll kind of get to the back. The ones that are daily riders that are operable will be more up front so we can get to them and ride them easier. Now, truth is, we don't really need all these projects. You know, we got a little overzealous at times and have collected things. In fact, one of these motorcycles is a customer's motorcycle. 2 of them actually are, that they never came and picked up. One of them, the guy owes me like $175 on, and it's been 5 years and he hasn't paid it. I'm to the point, I think we're just gonna load it up in a trailer and take it to his house and drop it off in his driveway and drive away. Just because I don't want it here. It's not a bike that I want. I mean, I could file for title on it, but I don't want it, so there's no sense in going through that trouble. The other one is a Sportster here that I think 4th gear is gone on it. And I know that the gentleman that owned it, also a good friend, he battling with cancer. So, and I haven't talked to him in a while, so I don't even know how that's worked out. So I haven't pushed on that one. Unfortunately, that one he owes me about $1,500 on. But it's been here for years. I mean, you guys saw videos on that years ago, and well, it's still sitting here, unfortunately. But anyway, some of the projects are actually sentimental. Talon's Caprice, that was actually Katie's father's car. So, you know, having his grandfather's car is kind of a cool thing. It definitely needs some work. And unfortunately, it's one of the cars that when the tornadoes happened earlier this year, a tree went through the door into the dash, but it's repairable. My Bronco, that's kind of sentimental to me too, because I've had it for so long, but unfortunately, the tree landed right on the roof of that. I don't know whether it's worth saving. It may not be. The International, that was my grandfather's truck. So yeah, that's not going anywhere. We've got plans for that as a project as well. But again, too many projects that we don't need them all. So things like the Camaro, I've just decided I don't want it anymore. Now, this used to be my street race car, excuse me, alleged street race car. I cannot neither confirm nor deny that I ever actually street raced or participated in any illegal street racing activities. But I just don't need the car anymore. So I think we're going to fix that one up and maybe sell it or do something with it. I don't know. And some of these motorcycles that I just don't need anymore, maybe fix them up and sell them. But some things will get kept, and I think some things I'm willing to say goodbye to. But I want to bring all this content to you guys, so it'd be a lot of fun to do in the meantime. So I think Talon and I are going to start moving all of these motorcycles and four-wheelers out of the way so we can get to the cars. Now, I have a car trailer here. If we need to, we can tow them over to the shop. But ideally, what we'd like to do is get them running and drive them to the shop. The Monte Carlo has not run in probably 8 years. And I want to say the Camaro hasn't run probably 10. And I would love to hear that Camaro fire up. Love that car. Wasn't the fastest car on the street, but man, I just love the way it sounded. Hopefully we get it fired up for you. All right, all three four-wheelers, the KLX are out. There's my Hayabusa. The other Gixxer, just everything out. All right, now we can better get to the Monte Carlo and the Camaro. So yeah, things like these AC units, we're gonna throw them in the trash. I've got this insulation, which I used when I was encapsulating downstairs. It's left over. I don't want to throw it away because it's expensive. So I think we're going to move that stuff down here into the crawl space, save it for a later date. And then we can move the Camaro this way. Now it's on car dollies, so we can roll it this direction. We're going to try to get the Monte Carlo out first. All right, so now we're going to try to move the Camaro over because the Camaro was on dollies and we forgot to bring the jack to be able to jack the car up and get the dollies out from underneath it. So we're going to move it to the side and we'll focus on the Monte Carlo first.
Take your pick. Is it going to hold there?
I don't know. It might. All right. Idea of dollies is great, but you get any debris on the floor, they don't work so well. Yeah. All right. Well, that should be enough to be able to get this out. Let's get all this crap off of it. All right. So we got all the crap off of it. Here is the power plant, just a small block Chevy. Relatively mild, nothing fancy. So I think we're going to pull the battery out of Talon's truck, throw it in here, see if we get it to fire up. Depending on how I title this, maybe you guys didn't know you were in for a will it start video, especially a double will it start. This is going to be trickier. The ignition switch is broken. All right, and just a brief history. The wheels that are on the Monte Carlo are actually the wheels and tires that I had on the Camaro back in its alleged race days. And then when we bought the Monte Carlo, it had these Firebird wheels on it, but the offset wasn't right. Those wheels didn't fit this car right, and these wheels didn't fit this car right. So Talon and I just decided to swap them one day. And I know that's a terribly ugly air cleaner. That's actually just a drain pan that's upside down because we did have this parked outside for a little while, trying to keep all the weather from going into the air cleaner. Ooh, squeaky F-body doors. Stinks. Oh, the hood will come up. There we go. Oh, doesn't want to stay up. All right, again, small block Chevy, nothing fancy. It's almost sad to see it in such rough shape. All right, had to use a stick to prop it up because it wouldn't stay. Apparently, the hood shocks ain't no good. You know, almost seems like such a waste. At one point in my life, I put so much time and effort into this Camaro. Every spare dollar I had, built the engine, transmission, everything else. I think the last time I raced it was 2006, and here we are in 2024. Almost 20 years since it's seen any action. Drove it on the street a little bit after that, but really not much. Just sad. All right, Talon's got the battery from his pickup.
I'm missing one of the bolts for this.
After half an hour trying to find a battery terminal bolt, we've checked the oil, it's good. We have no idea whether there's any fuel in this. Not that it's gonna be any good if there is, but let's see if we can get the accelerator pump to squirt something. Yeah, chances are the float bowls are dry. And we have to turn it over a few times, pump some fuel to it. All right, you wanna go give it a go? See what happens? Hi, Zach.
Hi. You got a clock working.
Yeah, we probably should have brought some starting fluid or something. Totally unprepared for this challenge.
Well, just want to work on the vacuum.
35 gas cans laying around this place. Not one of them has any gas in it. Looks like Zach may have found some over at his place. All right, so I didn't want to try to pour a 5-gallon gas can into the carburetor. So I put a little bit in an old oil bottle, drilled a tiny little hole on the top so I can just kind of squirt in a little bit at a time. Let's give this another try. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this a quick little douse, not too much. And give it a go, Talon. I thought about it. Well, I was trying not to flood it. Well, yeah, it runs. Stop, Talon. Yeah, we got a little bit of a leak right there, but at least it's pumping fuel now. Yeah, it's bad fuel. Ooh, that smells terrible. All right, I cut the hose and got the old piece off, but this hose is super, super stiff. I don't know if we're gonna be able to make this work or not. I mean, look, it doesn't even flex. This stuff is old. We're not able to get the line to reach back up there. It's just so stiff, it wouldn't expand. But I've got this braided line laying around that I think we can make work temporarily. You got plenty of length on it. All right, so we got that line on there and looped around. Hopefully this works.
Nope. It's spraying out the bottom.
Yeah.
Push it on a little better.
Yeah, we didn't have a hose clamp to fit it. We were hoping it would be tight enough for this low pressure fuel pump, but maybe not. Running on its own now. It's probably not running good. That gas has been in there a long, long time. I don't expect it to run good, but yeah, we're gonna have to let it warm up a little bit. Definitely starting to sound a little bit better. Now we get some heat built into it. Trying. That flat tire ain't helping any. All right, now cut left or right. Oh, she's seen better days. And we just knocked the tire off of the bead. Yeah, we should have aired the tire up first. I was hoping we'd just get it out here to where we could see better, but we knocked it off the bead. But it's running pretty good right now for bad gas. All right, Zach is pulling the jack out of Michaela's car so we can get under the axle. We'll get this up, air compressor. You know what we're gonna do. All right, so while the guys are getting the jack into the car, give you a little history. Talon and I pulled this Monte Carlo out of a junkyard, basically, up here in North Carolina. This was supposed to be Talon's very first car. Well, I mean, I guess technically it was, but he never ended up driving it daily. I mean, we got it running, put an engine in it, all the stuff. The transmission was slipping really bad, so we kind of parked it, and then he ended up getting the Caprice and just started driving that, and this just kind of got sat to the wayside. So yeah, it does need a transmission. Engine runs pretty good. It's in rough shape because I don't know how long it sat in the junkyard. I remember we fought pretty hard to get a title for this because it originally came from Georgia and they didn't issue titles then. So bringing it to North Carolina, it was a pain in the butt, but we got it all done and got it legal and registered. But we just never really actually put it into use. So maybe we can do that sometime soon. All right, so the car is up. Let's see if we can get it to bead.
Pull out.
Just pull the tire out so it gets closer to the bead.
Pull towards the bottom. Top is pretty much on there.
I heard a little pop. It's a going. Let's put about 30 pounds in it for right now. All right, looks like our radiator cap is leaking some water. Hopefully we can make it over to the shop. I got plenty in here for it to draw from if it needs it. All right, so I think right now the plan is Tyler's just gonna roadkill it over to the shop. We're only about 2 miles away. It's all back roads. Zach and I are gonna follow in his truck. While we're there, we're gonna get the real jack so that we can jack up the Camaro when we come back, try to get that one running. I'm actually really happy to hear this thing running and see it moving. Maybe motivate us to get this thing doing something. Maybe we'll just pull the transmission out and send it out to be rebuilt. Just a TH350, not a complicated transmission. I'm just not a transmission guy. All right, definitely overheating. So we're gonna pop the cap off, try to fill it back up with water one more time. Looks like we installed the battery. We forgot to hook up this power wire, which is what sends power to our electric fan system, so the fans weren't kicking on. So far so good. We're about halfway to the shop. It seems to be doing all right. Oh, and it stalls, going into reverse. There's the Monte Carlo's home for the time being, and we still got plenty of room here to get the Camaro in. All right, back to the house, see if round 2 goes as well as round 1 went. So now we're back out at the house. We remembered to grab the floor jack this time, so we're gonna air up the tires on the Camaro first. That way when we jack it up to take it off of those dollies, I already have air in the tires and set it on the ground. All right, right now Talon and Zach are trying to get the battery put in the back of the car, because I did relocate the battery to the rear. And I'm looking at this. I don't have upper radiator hose. I don't have the belt on it. The belt is there, but I was in the process of getting all this stuff aligned, and I was having issues with it, if I remember correctly, when I last worked on this. So I don't know that we'll be able to drive this car all the way over there. I don't know, but I still want to hear it run. I still want to at least be able to drive it out of this garage. Haven't heard this thing run in so long. I don't know. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna squirt some fuel in it, see if we can get it to fire up. Wanna hit it? Sounds like we got no fire. It's not even trying. So we found that we had a power supply problem going to the ignition switch on for the fuel pump and the ignition system. So we've kind of jumper wired it, hot wired it, and it seems to be working. I can hear the fuel pump running.
I can smell some bad gas.
It screeched and sounded terrible for a moment, but hopefully the whole system's priming, get some fuel up here to the carburetor. And we're putting the spark plug back in it, because now we've verified we do have spark now. We're gonna try it one more time. Yes. And man, the waft of nasty gas, nasty stale gas, even worse in here than it was in the Monte Carlo. So, all right, Talon, go give it a try. Yep. Doesn't sound much different. Let me put some fresh fuel in it. Hold the throttle open for a moment. All right, give it a go. Ooh. Hit it again. Guess there's no mufflers on this one.
Wow. That's right, they got ripped off, remember?
Yep.
I forgot about
Yeah, the mufflers are on your Monte Carlo.
that. No.
I thought they did.
The mufflers for this, I think, are sitting behind the barn or something. I totally forgot that. Yeah, because they got ripped off when you pulled them out from ice.
Yeah. All right. Go for it. Well, pouring fuel in, it should at least fire for a little bit. Go ahead, start it. So it'll run while we spray fuel in it, but yes, it doesn't sound like the fuel pump is building any pressure. It may not have any fuel in it. All right, so we verified that we have 0 fuel. The tank is just empty, so Talon's dumping the 2.5 gallons or so that we had in there in it. I'm hoping we get the system to prime, and then at least we'll have good gas going up to the carburetor at this point. All right, so with the plug out of the regulator, I plugged the fuel pump in, and we got fuel to start spitting out. So now let's see if we can fill the carburetor. Still sounds terrible, but you can hear it filling the carburetor now. You can hear the fuel pump loading. See if we can get accelerator pumps to work. Oop. That's trying to spit out of the overflow. All right, we've got accelerator pump. All right, Talon, hit the key.
We also got a dead burn back here. Question is, are we going to be able to shut it off?
Yeah, I can pull that wire. So it looks like we don't have the radiator hoses here. I don't have the right belt to put it on to make the water pump work. So we got 2 choices. We can either load it onto the trailer, or we can just drive it over there and hope that we don't overheat it. We're leaning towards the second, because we really don't want to mess around too much with the trailer. And it's not very far. It's a nice cool day. Once you get moving, there'll be some cold air running through there. I think we're going to chance it. I plan on taking this engine apart, rebuilding it anyway, so as long as we don't warp ahead or something, there's not much else I care about. Go Got a whole nother piston set for this to bump the compression up even higher. And just never got around to doing it. But still got all the parts. I think got a whole nitrous kit. Sitting around for this. Talon's cleaning the windshield on it because he realized when he drove the Monte Carlo over there, as soon as he left the neighborhood and that sun hit the windshield, he couldn't see where he was going. A little bit rough, so I think we're gonna do this. We got it here. Both cars are at their new home. Now we just got to go home and clean up the garage and put everything back in it. All right, so trying to organize things in here now. Got that GSX-R, that GSX-R, the two Sportsters, the KLX sitting back there, my Hayabusa, and the Beamer on the back row. And then Talon's dirt bike and all four of our four-wheelers on this row. Got the Bergman right here. You know, this is a running, driving, registered motorcycle. None of those are at the moment. But the battery's dead in this one and the tires are flat. So put it by the plug so I can get my battery tender on it. Talon put a Z right there. And now we've got to bring in. So I've still got the V-Strom that's got to go in here. Talon's got his GSX-R 750 over there. His Hayabusa and his Harley are all sitting over there as well. And then Dr. Evil, Katie's snowmobile, and the Street King are all still up in the trailer that I'd like to bring here and put in here as well. I don't know if I got room for all of it. All right, well, that's it for now. Talon even went and got my KTM out of the other building and my 1950 famous James. That's pretty much everything except for Dr. Evil, the Street King, and Katie's Street Legal snowmobile, all still up in the trailer. Now, Zach's motorcycle is still over in his garage, and even Grayson's little dirt bike and stuff is over there. But yeah, this is just mine and Talon's. Told you, the sickness is real. So that's 20 in here. We left the CB, this old CB 1100. I said I'm gonna take that back to the owner and just drop it off with him. Like I said, there's still 3 bikes up in the trailer, so that'd be 23 in here once we get them all in here. Yeah, I need a bigger garage. Actually, we still got that little 50cc Suzuki sitting here. I don't know what we're gonna do with it. I had it running years ago. All right, so Talon and Zach both had things to go do, but we're to a point where I didn't really need them. I'm just delivering a few things back over here to the shop that was in the garage, like the car dollies, that big fan, a couple other things. And I think we're gonna call it today. Well, it looks like the weather's starting to move in on me. That's back towards the house. And definitely some sprinkles, but it's sprinkles that got that little ting to it. And I can see them bouncing off my shirt, so it's actually a tiny little bit of snow or sleet. I don't know. Definitely looks like a snow day all of a sudden. Wasn't expecting that today. Well, guys, there you have it. Some insight into the projects and the crap that we've got going on. the motivation behind getting this place functional so we can actually start working on some of these projects. Now, we're still not quite there yet, but we are making progress every step. I know it's been long. It's been a year and a half since we started this project, getting this shop here ready. And there's still a lot to do here, but step by step, we're getting there. And then before you know it, whenever we are home from rallies, this will be the place that I'm going to be at, getting everything done. And hopefully you guys will enjoy that content to come. Hopefully you guys enjoy these projects. If you have an opinion on any of these projects or which ones we should do first, even though we kind of have a game plan, let us know what you'd like to see. Let us know whether any of these projects are things that you have interest in. But nevertheless, these projects will come soon. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed these videos, and I want to thank you for watching. Until the next time I see you, keep those engines running, just like we got these two running today. I tell you what, though, it did feel really good to get both of these cars running today and be able to actually drive them. Even though they didn't drive perfect and they need work, it was a long time coming, and kind of feel a little bit of motivation in there. Want to get something done on this Camaro, get something done on this Monte Carlo, as well as all the other projects. Don't forget, we still got the e-bike over here that we're working on, not even counted in those 23 bikes over at the house.